Hello, my name is Marcus. I'm the compiler of a collection of therapy quotes entitled 1001 Windmills of the Mind, a collection of advanced self-help quotes taken from what's often called the psychodynamic or the psychoanalytic perspective, which long ago, as I understand it, was referred to by some as philosophical medicine or narrative medicine. For the love of narrative medicine, to borrow a line from the singer Steve Perry, who has a song entitled For the Love of Strange Medicine. Can we borrow his song title, For the Love of Narrative Medicine? Okay. So this fancy jargon, psychodynamic, psychoanalytic perspective simply means know yourself. But when you get to know yourself, the reason they say analytic or dynamic is because the self is considered to be kind of in two areas. We live in these two worlds. Now, the real self, the authentic self, okay, the sense of your emotional body, your embodiment, your feeling at home within, and your pleasant basic feelings and the gifts of the real self, the capacities of the real self, as described by Masterson in his great book called The Search for the Real Self. Okay, so this beingness is like a home within. We live to the extent that we feel, and our basic feelings get represented by the golden ball, okay, to approximate the sun that radiates, so our feelings can radiate and animate through us, and we feel this natural pleasure within like that, this serene, inexhaustible fullness of being. You want that fullness of being, okay, and then there's a serene, pleasant kind of feeling like that. That's their natural state, calm and easygoing, friendly, and when you have your feelings, you're naturally ethical, and you have empathy, and you're virtuous, and you have that. That's natural when you have your feelings. Okay, so that's the true self, the authentic self, the real self, okay, and so on. Okay, so that's a given. We're all given that. That's pretty obvious, right? The word of the year by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary Company. Oops. Oh yeah, I only got this space for a limited time. They're preparing for a thing tonight, so I gotta be out in about maybe 2 hours. So the word of the year by the Merriam-Webster Dictionary Company for last year, 2023, was authentic. So that makes sense. The Great Spirit makes everything a little bit unique, everyone a little unique. So we all have a unique, authentic self, and that's a given. And so we're Homo sapiens, so we got the body, feeling, mind, feeling self, okay, and so on. Now, what happens? What happens to a person if the child has to, out of desperation, flash freeze his soul, his being, his authentic self? What is it? What if the baby has to, in an emergency, hide or repress or make numb or send away or exile his beingness? Okay, so the common image is Snow White. She's in a coma, in a box in the forest. So that's the underworld, this other world, this unconscious world. Okay, so Snow White's a metaphor for our beingness. So in a myth or fairy tale, you can take a character, and if that character, from the storyteller's telling, that character is a metaphor for the beingness, an authentic self. Okay, so Snow White is a metaphor for our beingness, and we see Snow White in a coma, in a box, sent away. Okay. That's our authentic self, that's our real self, that's our embodiment, that's our sense of. We make sense when we feel at home with Him. We make sense, we feel, we can mourn, we can have gratitude and empathy, we can delight in creativity and spontaneity and enjoy the moment. Okay, that's normal state of affairs, to understand the present, live in the present, and that kind of thing. But Snow White's in a coma. Okay, so the beingness of a person, now implied with the beingness of the person is the golden ball aspect. So some fairy tales will, one implies the other. If the golden ball goes down the well, that implies the beingness is frozen, unavailable, in a coma, far away, sometimes petrified, turned to stone, morphed into some other condition. That's kind of implied. And some fairy tales are together, like Rapunzel. The beingness is Rapunzel, the golden hair. Okay, that's to reference the golden ball, symbol that our feelings radiate like the sun and animate like that. Or in Iron John's story, you got the wild man for the embodiment, and the golden ball is also locked in a cage, right? So they're kind of together like that. So either they're together or they show one or the other. But if they just show one or the other, it implies the other. So anyways, the beingness, okay, I feel therefore I am. Okay, I mean the authentic amness, you have the positive, natural feelings. So, so the child's given that. We're all given that. We're given that. We all have that. Okay, we're all embodied. We all have a sense of self. We all have the capacities of the basic feelings of joy. And joy runs the console, by the way. The main animating emotion for a person is that serene, pleasant feeling. So in Disney film, it's the Inside Out, the joy character runs the console. Okay, so this is all emerging. The child's not fully developed yet when he's born. Yes, he's biologically born, but what about his emotional life, his psychological life, his mental life? All that's still developing, it's emerging. And for it to emerge, for his authentic self, to be a part of the person, to be at home, for the person to be at home with him, connected with him, to have that beingness animate inside, really out for the person, inside out like that. Okay, the baby needs what's called a secure attachment style, a rhythm of safety with the mother, where the mother meets the baby's needs, so the baby's properly loved. Okay, now the baby has basic needs. Okay, so this phrase called a secure attachment style. I'll just outline the table of contents. There are 5 parts. Part A, the baby needs paradise in the uterus. Okay, he's in a state of oceanic bliss, oceanic oneness. Mr. Groff calls it oceanic ecstasy. Like he's in an excited, blissful kind of place because he's one with everything. He doesn't understand that he's a person inside his mother's a person. He thinks it's just him and everything's just him, and he's the whole universe, a solipsistic world. He's like this God in his own world, whatever it is called, narcissism, right? This little bubble like that. He needs that, but he feels powerful because the mother's powerful. He thinks the mother's him, or maybe some people think maybe the child senses that he's specially selected and chosen by the powerful mother, and he's one with the mother, and the mother chose him, and he's a special relationship like that. So he feels like a king, little god, and the kingdom serves him, the mother serves him. Whatever it is, it's delusional. The baby's a passive, helpless baby who needs mother's love. He's still being fed and nourished like that, but he thinks in this delusionary kind of place. So he has this unico mystical, one with this big mystery. And most people think it's a blissful kind of condition called the Garden of Eden, Shambhala, Shangri-La, Nirvana, Avalon. He's in this kind of paradisal kind of state. Okay, so it's all symbiotic, it's merging, it's fusion. It's just this whole one thing, and it's all him, kind of like that. Anyways, so he has his embodiment. He has joy at the console. He's one with the mother, and the power of the mother is his power, infantile megalomania. I feel safe like that. All of his needs are automatically met. The oxygen gets sent down, food gets sent down the center vein. Okay, the other 2 veins send up the baby's waste elimination to the placenta, which metabolizes everything. And it even kind of flows in a smooth, slowly, baby, cord, placenta, mother, placenta, cord, baby, do, re, mi, 1, 2, 3. It kind of flows, rhythm of safety. Like there's a natural kind of smooth thing like this. So there's no conditions on the baby's end. There's no interruptions on the baby, towards the baby. So he thinks he's kind of special like that, or he's doing it himself. Anyways, he's self-sufficient, omnipotent, powerful. He's a king, God, whatever it is. Anyway, so let him have that delusion. Okay, and he thinks it's just him like that. Somebody said, maybe the baby might get a sense of an other if he hears the mother's heartbeat, pulsating of the cord and the blood flow. Maybe he thinks like if the mother's him, he thinks, and he's the mother, it's all one, he's everything. What might not be him? Like what's the other? Like what's the mother? Well, Grassi thinks, well, maybe it's the sound, like in the beginning was the sound for the baby. So the mother's heartbeat, pulsating of the cords and the blood flow making some kind of melody or something. Some kind of prototype, original basic raw prototype of music like that. So maybe the first mother's music, ironically, right? In the beginning. So if he's in paradise, maybe the first mother's music, right? And that's why later on when you hear music in general, you uncannily feel calmer because it reminds you of the time when you were in heaven and paradise. A little bit in a physiological sense, maybe. But what if the baby's in an unwelcoming womb? What if the baby's not in a welcoming womb? What if his paradise is disrupted? What if it's disturbed in what's called prenatal distress syndrome? Or if he's got prenatal trauma? What if there's mother's taking pills or drinking, smoking, doing all these things, and it disrupts things inside the baby? Baby's going to be enraged. He's scared, he's enraged, he's shamed, he's enraged. What's his mother now? How is he going to deal with this? So theory is he'll project and see his rage and needs onto the cord, veins, placenta, and makeup. And even though his eyes are closed, he senses some kind of sea monster, some three-headed sea monster that wants to eat him. Really? He's not in paradise anymore if he thinks his mother's a sea monster. Come on. Right? So that's an interesting idea about that. Noisy next door. Maybe I should... Maybe let me continue upstairs for a bit, and then maybe they'll finish when I come down. But we got some good quotes today. Oh yeah, we got some good, strong, solid quotes today coming up. Yeah, so we'll be doing 2856 in this batch. So stay tuned, hang in there. We'll get there. Some good some very good introductory kind of explanatory quotes about the whole psychoanalytic idea. A little bit about interpretation, this concept of working through, and a couple of loose ends ones. And on the lighter side, I've got the next the next one queued up, 57, from an indigenous. I just found it this morning, an indigenous. So on the lighter end, I'll do a preview of the next one. From an indigenous young lady. She's an artist, I don't know, in her 20s or something. Very bright, young, kind of smart young lady named Chantil Ducart. She's a mixed indigenous artist from the Alaska area, the two different nations there. She's her mother's from one nation, the father's from another, or something like that. I forgot the name. Not familiar to me, those names, but anyways. So she plays the piano and sings and writes poems and all this. So to accompany some of her songs, she includes some of her little poems. So I read her poem to one of her songs called, what was the song called? The Former Lover or something like that. Past tense. He's past tense. My former lover, he's now past tense. Something like that. So in the description on YouTube, she posts her poem for the song there, and it's kind of clear. And I thought, this captures the whole issue of the codependency pattern. Okay, so we have a thread on codependency. So I thought, okay, let's include this for that codependency pattern, meaning. When a man or woman instantly falls in love with others and wants to please them and save them, they do everything for them. They don't see the red flags. They think they're no good, and they need to see if this is good, because they're still childlike, looking for the good parent. So that topic there. So she writes kind of clearly. Might seem yeah, I thought let's include it. It has a lighter feel to it all. Her tone is very light and fresh, I think. So I thought to lighten things up a little bit as well. Her music's okay. She has an album called. Her album is called. What's it called again? The Damsel. No. Something that. What's that? It's a play on the kids' film. What's it called again? The Lady and the Champ. The Lady and the Champ. That's what it's called. She tries to do like a little saxophone, piano, like a easygoing pop, kind of jazzy pop kind of stuff. I think, kind of like what we're hearing upstairs, overhead. But with her singing, that kind of thing. So yeah, so let's I'll just stick it through. If I listen to this for a long, I know what happens to me. If I listen to that in the background, after a while it builds up on me, and I feel a little. I don't want to get annoyed. It might get annoyed. Let me go somewhere else. Because I know they're preparing for events. Gosh, there are a lot of, yeah, the other venue, they were like fully booked with events. Things are busy all over the place, yeah. With events and functions and company meetings and that kind of thing. Yeah, let's do that. See, chances are I can only use that pool area if no one's there, kind of thing. So yeah, okay, let's take a peek. Maybe we'll get lucky. Yeah, okay. I'll be back. I'm not leaving yet. I'll be back. Okay, so Snow White is a metaphor for our beingness. So, okay, so so why does the baby freeze his soul? Why does the baby flash freeze his soul and exactly like that? And then it's not available to the person. It doesn't fill up the person. The person doesn't feel themselves. Okay, so Snow White being like that, that implies the feelings are frozen as well. So the jargon, one jargon for this is athymolexia, no feelings for your words. Okay, so you're talking where are your feelings, or no words for your feelings, alexithymia. Okay, so we're disconnected from our inner home. So our inner home is far away. So we feel empty like that. Okay, so why does the child freeze his soul? Well, he's got needs. He's got needs. Okay, and part A. Oh, Jesus. Oh, wow. Oh, no, okay, I'm way off. Oh, it's packed. Oh, it's overfilled with people. I'm way off there. Where else can I? I wonder if I can. Let's try another thing here. Yeah, wrong choice of venue today. I should have gone somewhere else. Let's finish up the 5 points quickly. So the baby needs paradise in uterus, natural birth, okay, the Boyer topic, Klaus and Kettle topic, lotus birth topic, the positions topic. Okay, there's a whole wealth of material about the natural birth, the gentle birth, and the importance of leaving the cord, leaving the placenta, and doing everything possible to prevent birth trauma. Baby needs like a natural, gentle birth. See? Oh, they're busy too. Oh my God. Wow. This place is hopping today. Oh, beside me, it's actually a whole meeting beside me. That's why it's so noisy. It wasn't there. They weren't just preparing. I shouldn't be there. They should have kicked. They should have told me that. Okay, there's a seat over there. That's. Yeah. Okay. Let's just go to the lobby part. Just stand up. Just stay here for a while. see? How about here? Is this going to work? Let's just try this for a bit. Yeah, okay, so the 5 parts: the uterus time, the birthing time, and then the babies need an extended paradise from birth to 4 to 5 months. Okay, mother-infant dual unity, so the mother provides that kind of cocoon for the a continuation of that womb-like condition outwardly, called the extended womb, the extended social interpersonal womb. Mother-infant dual unity. So the mother's got to be attuned, the connection's there, she meets the baby's needs automatically, it flows, let the music play on, skin-to-skin contact, natural feeding, loving gaze, holding the baby warmly and safely, giving that baby that comfort and security and warmth and affection. He feels safe and warm, like he was in uterus. It's just in her arms now, in her bosom, in her arms. He's got to have that time. It's an extended egg-like, okay? It's like a psychological egg, one person calls it. And then at 4 to 5, and he's in that paradise. Oh, one second. Oops. Oh, excuse me. Oh, well, it's the second time I've sneezed on a camera. Yeah, that's pretty good. Eh? I've done 1,000 videos, 4 years, 3 continents, second sneeze. Okay. 2 sneezes. Yeah, that's because there's a real strong draft right. There's quite a strong fan on me here. That's what it is. Okay, so the first 4 to 5 months, the baby needs an extended paradise with the mother. Very important period. It's the stage of symbiosis. The mother functions as a symbiotic object for the baby, a self-object for the baby. Okay, so she's there meeting the baby's needs, and never in any way should the mother flip it and take comfort that the baby is somehow is a symbiotic object for her. Okay, no. She's the mother for the baby. She can't turn it around and see the baby as comforting her. She has a natural pleasure giving. Leave it at that. You can't flip it and let her indulge in some kind of infantile phase where she feels safety with the oneness that she didn't get. She's got to work that out beforehand and have it straight in her mind that she's the mother and the baby needs her. That the baby's a human being who trusts her and has a sacred trust in the mother, and the mother functions as the mother for the baby. She's got to have that kind of in advance, something like that. Because mothers, enjoy this symbiotic phase themselves. They're not supposed to indulge in it, like enjoy it. Let the baby enjoy it and just take pleasure that the baby's enjoying it. That's called Freud. Happiness in your baby's happiness. Okay, so out of this psychological egg now, for the birth of 4 to 5 months, the baby begins to hatch. Okay, at 4 to 5 months, ballpark, the range varies, just generally speaking, 4 to 5 months, the baby consolidates a sense of self that consolidates and metaphorically hatches out of the previous egg-like condition of the two being fused in this one fusional thing like an egg. So he's out of that mesh, he hatches out a sense of self and sees the mother as a person, he's a person, and this process begins. It's a gradual process. It begins at 4 to 5 months and it continues up until the age of 3. So from 4 to 5 months to 18 months, okay, that infantile megalomania of him thinking he's still a little god, that still continues. But now he's got motor skills, he can crawl, walk, run, jump, do things, so he feels like Superman. He owns the world, and he's Superman. He sounds like Spider-Man, the whole city's mine, or whatever it is. Oh, he didn't think that, right? Anyways, the baby is in a state called the world is my oyster. So he still thinks he's a little infantile god, and everything belongs to him, the way the mother belonged to him, and the way the uterus belonged to him, and the universe belonged to him. Was the uterus a friendly place? Okay. So he thinks everything belongs to him, so because he's one with it all. That's just a confusion by the baby. Forgive him for that. He thinks he's a little god and entitled like this, special, entitled, chosen, whatever you want to call it. This phrase "chosen," by the way, just a sidebar here. Some statistician or mathematician said that the odds of any person being on the planet, the odds of anyone being here, are 1 in 400 trillion. Everybody's chosen. Those are the odds, by nature. But from the psychoanalytic jargon perspective, this idea of being special or chosen, that's all baby. We think that all babies may sense that about themselves in that state from inside to 18 months of age. So between 4 to 5 months to 18 months, it's gonna begin to dissipate. But he's still in that phase where the world is his oyster kind of thing. Finally, at 18 months, assuming the mother didn't rebuff him for it or punish him for it, assuming the mother saw him and accepted him and was okay with him and he felt safe during that time, then the child's ego develops and he realizes, oh, I see now. I'm not a little god and the whole world's mine. Oh, I see. Oh, I'm like a family member. We're all like one big, massive, traumatized family, homo traumicus. Oh, I see. And this whole Earth is our planet that we live on. Third speck of the universe. This is a unique, and we're all family on it. Oh, okay. Oh, well, let me understand myself and others. Who are we? And what do I like, kind of thing. So from 18 months to 36 months, that's the now Voyager phase. So he's more of a human explorer. Whereas before, he just thought he was a little god who belongs to him. But 18 months, 30, now he's learning, he's curious, trying to understand himself and others. You know, the why of his behavior, the why of other people's behavior, someone said. And then, so just getting a three-dimensional, but mainly it's about his interest. Like he's trying to find out what he likes. He wants to individuate. He wants to know what's unique to him, what he likes, what he can express that he likes. So the mother functions in the so-called secure base mode, communicative matching, improv. You're safe, baby. So the baby explores, freaks out, comes back, touches the mother, kind of thing, grabs her leg or whatever. The mother just says, "I'm here. It's okay. You can explore, learn. You don't lose me. I don't lose you. I can explore and you don't go away. That's right. You can have both. You can explore, and when you freak out, I'll be here and tell you you're safe." That's awesome, Ma. You're awesome. I appreciate that. So she functions as a secure base for the child to explore. He's not ready yet to be on his own. He doesn't know what he likes. He's too young. So he's got to go back and get fed, so to speak. It's called emotional refueling. He explores further, comes back, okay, and then this goes on for 18 months. And often the child has questions and wants to learn things. He wants to know, can he be himself? Okay? And the mother will be okay with it. Or does the child get the message covertly, sneakily, that if he's going to be himself, he's going to betray his mother, that she'll be upset? Okay, no, that's the problem. So the mother's got to send a message. Life's longing for itself. You're from nature. You're unique. You're going to be who you are. I have Freud and Freud. I take pleasure in you finding yourself and loving life. You're not there to serve me or mother me or take care of me or, be an extension of me or do or I didn't do or you're not there to compensate for some of my problems. You're not there to save me or cure. Because some babies get that message, then they give up. Freeze up there. So the message is, in other words, let's say the baby explores, discovers something, finds a frog. Hey mother, look, what's this? Oh, I'm busy now, don't talk to me. Okay, woof, he's frozen. He gets the message that if he explores and tries to learn, he loses his mother. He doesn't want to lose his mother, so he'll give it up. Then the mother will, oh good baby, good child. Then the child might reward his not knowing himself. Because she likes that ability to have this psychic hook on him, so she can push her buttons, get a response. She doesn't feel alone, feel important. So she's using the child in that way. Okay, that's a huge topic about this separation, individuation process. So 5 parts. Okay, so back to the basic point. Why does the baby freeze up the soul if the mother doesn't meet the baby's needs? So those 5 parts, okay, we can say there's certain 5 stages of different types of needs, kind of thing. Okay, so if the needs are met, we say the baby's loved. If the needs are unmet, we say he's improperly loved or conditionally loved, or it's a traumatic attachment, convoluted, painful arrangement. So he's got to freeze up his soul to protect himself in those cases, right? Okay, so the baby comes out of, let's say there's no prenatal trauma, let's say there's no birth trauma, and he's trying to latch on to the mother, but somebody removes him, takes the cord away. Okay, whoa. So he's got to reestablish that blissful oneness again. let's say the mother's not around, doesn't get it, doesn't get the signals because the baby was removed and her hormones dissipated. They couldn't establish the connection anymore. What do you want, baby? I don't know what you want. You're bothered. Okay, whoa. Okay, so there's a problem here. Mother, I need a security with you. I need a rhythm of safety. I need you to see me and soothe me and see me and recognize me. I need a comfort with you. I need a connection with you and a rhythm of safety and a back and forth with you. I need an extended paradise with you. Now that mother's confused, doesn't get it, because the baby was removed. All that's broke, that's disruptive, and that takes place. So the baby's got what's he going to do now? His beingness, when the baby doesn't get his needs met, he thinks he's a goner. He thinks he's not going to make it. He's terrified. He thinks being abandoned, being rejected, going to be alone, like a baby, animal in the savannah, going to be alone or something, not going to make it. Thinks his physiology is going to freak out. He's terrified. So what does the baby do when he's terrified? Okay, first things first. His soul, his beingness, is going to flash frozen, going to freeze it up and send it away. Down a tunnel, down a metaphor, down a tunnel, down a cavern where the light has never shone. Okay, and down another tunnel, far away. So the metaphor is your beingness is deep in the unconscious, deep in the brain, the memory of who you would have been had you been loved. That your potential, it's deep in the survival brain, like far away in that primary mentation world. Okay, one fairy tale is entitled, Go I Know Not Whither, and Bring Back I Know Not What. So he had it, but we don't even remember it. It's the unthought known. It's known, but we can't think it. Baby can't think it. It's overwhelmed. So, okay, so that's Snow White in a coffin, or Rapunzel in a tower, etc. I don't want my talking to interrupt anybody here. Let's see. I don't know if I should go back. What about this? Oh, hang on. Okay. This side might be all these people here too. Okay, let's go on. Unexpected, so busy today. Wow. It's funny how these things. Some days I get lucky. I get the whole place to myself. I can do a video straight through with no interruptions. Some days I'm bouncing around every 2 minutes. This is one of the nicest venues. This place here. If he thinks his mother, so what he does, remember the baby terrified in the uterus thinks the mother's a sea monster? Same idea. If the mother's not meeting his needs, think the mother's a devouring monster that wants to eat him. Okay, a guy with the horns, some kind of alien. Because this idea about the alien just simply means that it's out of the baby's world, out of his expectations, to be abused by his mother. So if the baby doesn't get his needs met, he thinks the mother rejected him. It's abuse, right? He thinks he's being abused, rejected, unwanted. So that's out of his world like that. So his rage projected onto the mother creates this frightening image. It could be an alien, it could be a guy with the horns, it could be a monster, it could be the boar queen in White Bear King Balaban, it could be the witch in Hansel and Gretel. It can take a variety of forms. It's frightening, it wants to gobble him up basically. And it's much powerful and bigger than him. So that's an imago in his brain. He's dealing with this imago now. And now he's dealing with this mother imago image. So if he thinks his mother's a monster that wants to eat him, he's terrified. What's he going to do? First things first, he's got to protect himself. He's got to protect his soul from this monster. This monster is an image that's comprised of his projected rage and needs. So it doesn't exist like that. The mother's not hurting him, but she's not meeting the baby's needs. So because of that, he's enraged and creates the image like that. It's like a midway compromise on what's going on here. So he freezes up his soul because the monster's going to eat him. His own feelings are going to eat him in pictorial form, basically. So his poor baby's trying to cope with this situation. So he freezes his beingness, okay, exiles it, so to speak. Now, how's the person going to live life? If his authentic self, his real self, his true self, his ontological self, his sense of self, the authentic sense of self, his beingness, if all that's frozen, exiled, okay, it can be frozen, petrified, turned to stone, echo becomes a statue. Okay, and you feel unreal, velveteen rabbit, Buddha not fully alive. Okay, yesterday's video last video talked about that, etc. What is he got left? How is he going to function in life? How is he going to deal with the external world? How is he going to relate in the world if his authentic self is all frozen? So his beingness and his emotional life is all frozen. Well, what the system does is it's going to create some kind of scaffolding of defense mechanisms. Okay, a bundle of defense mechanisms, maneuvers of the mind, operations of the mind, mechanisms of the mind, splitting, projection, protective, identification, reaction, formation, double think. It's going to do all these little defense mechanisms, things that he can think, feel, do, to repress, deny, to get away from the pain, and keep it. And then he gets the endorphins that makes him numb. So he bundles up these defense mechanisms, and it's called the false self. Now he's got the false self, okay, the adaptive self. I like the defensive self. That's not bad. The defensive self. I think Karen Horney calls it the ideal self. So ideal. Maybe I missed that. The defensive self. Or the famous persona, the mask. Okay, we always talk about the mask. Now with the mask, or the defensive self, or the adaptive self, or the false self, the fake self, or pseudo self, this is just some kind of made up kind of construction. And with that, okay, we go through life with that, and that allows us to drive a car, pay the bills, get 10 medals, get 10 PhDs. So we can still kind of function, with the false self, or go through life with the false self. Become successful, materially successful with the false self. You can still get 10 gold albums or whatever. You can buy 10 yachts or whatever. So people can do things in the world. They can function like that in the world. But we live to the extent that we feel. Okay? So if our feelings are all frozen, and we're doing these things with the false self, we're just going through the motions of life, sleepwalking through life, and it may be kind of exciting. The person might get manic and excited because of the brain chemistry issue with the false self. The brain chemistry issue with the false self, as I partially understand it, is that when the baby's traumatized with the mother, they're in a trauma bond. Okay, so it's painful, but underneath the pain, there's the bliss that we talked about earlier. Okay? So another thing with trauma is the baby's going to identify with the aggressor. If the trauma is before 18 months, he'll identify with the aggressor. So he'll act like the aggressor, treat others the way his mother treated him. And then flip-flop, see the ones he just hurt, who played him as the mother who hurt him. He plays himself and he hates the one he hurts. But in the process of doing all this, he's still one with the mother. Okay, the baby being one with the mother is an exciting, blissful, oceanic feeling. Okay, so if his memory model, if in his mind there's an image of himself that's blurred with the image of the mother, and he becomes the mother, and his shame self is too wounded, but he sees others like that, then he's still in that blissful kind of phase. He's still the one with the mother like that. And the pain of it all, well, it's called externalization. Proxies who play his soul, which he damaged, the proxy can demonstrate, and he can see his someone else expressing his pain for him to make him unaware of his pain. If someone else expresses the pain that he creates, the rest of it's done over, but he gets the blissful feeling. Someone called it the libidinalization of identification with the aggressor. So he makes it pleasurable like that. So that's meaning he gets the oneness feeling with the mother, the blissful feeling with the mother. So with the false self, that's why people are addicted to hate and greed and narcissism and selfishness. People are addicted like that. They're manic like this. So greed is addictive and envy is addictive, because these things keep you in the trauma bond with the mother, the Stockholm syndrome, someone called it, right? Not just you love you become them. Identification. I think frenzy's phrase is better. It's called identification with the aggressor. Identification with the aggressor. Sandor frenzy. Okay. Now this point about the double focus and the flip popping, that's an important area discussed in the last video at the outdoor place. Yeah, I was at the Swan place. The last video was at the Swan place. We went through that part of it a little bit. Actually, that wasn't so bad. Yesterday, the last week, 2 days ago video, my 2 days ago video, that was one of the best. I thought that was okay. A little noisy background. Sorry about that. But okay, so there's the famous split: the false self, true self. Okay, now there's an inherent pain in this. if you're living with the false self, where's your true self? Where's your pleasure, feeling, joy? Where's the beingness? Where's your like love? And okay, that's the tin man, no heart. And you can't think clearly. That's the scarecrow, no brain. Cowardly lion, lack of courage and feeling and embodiment. Things are fragmented like this. There's an inherent psychic pain, okay, which is numbed over. Evelyn Dickinson. With trauma, there's a pain so utter. Swallow substance up. Miss Core gets pulled down. In the Greek myth, Miss Core, the maiden for our beingness. So Miss Core in the Greek myth, K-O-R-E-K with the K, the core of a person, the authentic core of the person, it got pulled down into the underworld. Okay, Earth opens up, she got yanked down. You saw that image, right? So that's a metaphor, that's an image. Okay? Myths and fairy tales are pictures to communicate what's going on inwardly. Okay? So inwardly, our beingness got yanked down into the survival brain, deep in the core, amygdala, brainstem, spine, that kind of primitive kind of area. So that's like deep in the unconscious. We don't start, we're not conscious of that kind of stuff, but the memory's there. The experience, that event took place there, and it's grooved in there in a circle. It's looped around in the survival brain. So that's called repression. It's repressed. Something happened, you don't know it. You experienced it, but you can't be aware. It's called repression. Yeah. So this core got repressed, pulled down. And notice the feeling associated with it, okay, is shame. Baby's identity is rejected, feels rejected by the mother, the natural emotion, we call that shame. So the storytellers would make up a scene called hell. Hell is a metaphor for the emotion of shame. Okay, shame is this burning, biting feeling. Okay, so once again, myths and fairy tales are true on the inside. Okay, they're metaphors for inner dynamics. So it's going on inwardly. Okay, so shame is an emotion. It's inside. Okay, so the hell scene is code for the inside emotion of shame. That's all it is. Now the guy who did the yanking down. Okay, remember in the uterus, the mother was a sea monster. Well, at the breastfeeding time, it could be the guy with the horns. Okay, the imago we're talking about. Okay. These imagos, again, they're not the mother. Nobody's calling the mother these monsters like that. If the baby creates an image like that, as a result of the interaction with her, he creates that image. He kind of made it out of his coping strategy. So he's a genius that way to deal with the situation. Yes, the mother, of course, is at fault, but not like that. No mother wants to really harm the baby like that. But he's helpless and powerless and totally dependent on the grand giantess in the nursery. So things are exaggerated, and he thinks he's a goner once again. So he can't make it on his own. The baby can't make it on his own. He's got no resources, so he's easily terrified, very sensitive, etc. Okay, so there's an inherent ongoing pain like this. To your feeling self is frozen, and you're going to life with the false self. Now this false self, okay, or personality false self, there's a variety of forms of it. If the trauma is prior to 18 months, okay, you got a set of them called the stinger personality patterns. Okay, the various narcissistic types, the bully type, iago type, lower functioning BP type, and etc. So those are the most troublesome ones, right? They're operating out of the trauma prior to 18 months. Okay, if the trauma is post 18 months but prior to 36 months, you got the clingers and the pleasers and the caretakers and self-defeating ones, childlike ones, silly ones like that. But they're emotional and they're sensitive overtly, and they're still in the human realm, but in a childlike place. Whereas prior to 18 months, they reject that. They didn't get that. They just flipped over and take refuge in the time in the uterus where they were infantile gods. So they still think they're little gods, whereas the childlike ones are human children. The other ones are infantile gods. That's why stingers and the clingers. I know it's an overgeneralization, that kind of thing. But yeah. So and there's like a whole thread for each personality pattern. So the narcissistic types, you got the exhibitionistic ones, you got the familiar, overt ones, okay, then you got the voyeur one, the turtle one, the clinging vine one, and etc. The bully one, a lot of people know about that. Iago, that's an important one. He's the sneaky one, filled with immense envy, spreads rumors against others, get others against themselves, and sees the goodness outwardly damaged because his goodness was damaged. And he identifies with the damaging mother. And he thought the mother was envy, but hated his goodness. So he's got to hate goodness to have a mother. So his trick is to, he's not the bully pattern. He's afraid to be overtly like the bully pattern. He loves the bully pattern, of course. He can't do it, so he sneakily does it covertly with the spreading of the rumor thing. That's called the Iago pattern. But the point is, he wants to see goodness damaged because his mother took away his goodness. Okay? The baby interpreted the mother rejecting him as the mother hating his goodness. Now he's got to have a mother, so he becomes her. Okay? Now repetition compulsion, he goes through life imitating her. So whenever there's goodness out there, to have a mother, to feel safe, to get the bliss and the glee and the pleasure and the little liberalization of the pleasure of being with the one with the mother and loyalty to the mother and having a mother, attachment theory. He's got to have a mother. And he's stuck there in the tar pit of a fusion like that, and he is the mother. And the condition to have a mother, he's got to reject goodness. To have a mother, he's got to reject goodness. So if he sees goodness, he'll see damage, spoiled, wrecked, ruined, and he's excited because he's one of them. See, mother, we're one. We're together. I'm you. We're one. All right. I got a blissful feeling because we're one. So he's still in that perverted condition. The shrinks call it psychological perversion. We don't go into the physical area. Out of my zone now. I'm not a shrink, by the way. Yep. Now remember the key thing about the stingers and the clingers. Should we cover that part? Now let's back up a sec to the more broader part. Okay, so the false self and the true self. So the false self can take a variety of forms. Okay? The stingers and the clingers, basically. Okay? A client calls it the paranoid schizoid mode of experiencing, and via versus the depressive mode, similar to stingers and clingers. The depressive mode and the codependent clinger mode is actually a little further ahead. The paranoid schizoid or the stinger mode, they're stuck with immense survival anxiety. They think the world's a jungle now because they're operating out of the flare-up of the amygdala. Okay? They're operating out of the flare-up of that the feeling self is so frozen, so pained, so exiled. They got the flaring up of the brainstem, the amygdala area. So they think kind of out of that, from that brain's point of view. That brain's point of view is just survival, right? So the famous triune brain, the brain with three parts. Okay, the brain with three parts, the triune brain. We have three brains. Okay, so the first part, second part, third part, based on evolution. Okay, so everybody's got a brain with three parts. The first part, the elementary, basic, archaic one, okay, that's called the survival brain. The language is visceral and sensations. Fear and anger, anxiety, shame come from that kind of place. Jungle slogans, survival slogans, hate, greed, negativity, all that kind of hate area. Okay, dark humor, black humor, and cynical humor, and despair, all that kind of hard stuff. That comes from the survival brain. Okay. A lot of it's physiological, it leads to psychosomatic symptoms. That's all there. So in the Disney film Inside Out, that's represented by by fear, anger, and disgust. Disgust was mainly about distaste and dissmell. Sometimes disgust represented shame, so shame is in there as well. So that's like the really survival kind of area, that part of the brain. Okay, so that's why that part of the brain is nicknamed. Okay, like any one of those kind of creatures that only cares about survival, the crocodile, the reptile, the snake, the salamander. I like the lizard. I'm going to call it the lizard one, the gecko. Okay, because those creatures only care about the instinct of survival and reproduction. So that brain is kind of like that. The feeling, the love, the affection, play, tenderness, creativity, delight, bluebird, that stuff's not there. Okay, that brain only cares about survival. Now, we're mainly the mammal. We're mainly we have a body, like a warm blood. We're mainly the mammal. Okay, that's the feeling brain, the feeling mind. Okay, so the second brain, the second part of the brain, or the second brain, that's the feeling mind, the feeling brain. They're mainly from there. That's the feeling self, the ontological self, existential self, the sense of self. Okay, I mean, like emotionally existential. Yeah, okay, the survival brain would be like physically existential, and then the middle feeling brain would be the emotionally existential. Yeah, okay. So the feeling, we're mainly the feeling one. That's where the joy and sadness and empathy and the more human, the regular quote unquote more human side of being human is there. We're mainly regularly from there. Joy runs through there. Okay, if there's a loss, joy steps aside. Sadness on the console, we acknowledge the loss. Okay, and then sadness, joy can come back to the console. All play Vonda Shepherd's song. all of the joy for which you pray is 100 tears away. So you can do the grieving, you can do the mourning. Okay, with the feeling self, you can make I statements, you can free associate, you can share intimacy, trust, tenderness, affection. Not in a pathological way, not in a desperate way. The poem coming up, yeah. That poem is with the clingers, right? Yeah. So with the feeling self, you can think reasonably. You live in the present. Okay, so we want. That's our home within. That's what we're meant to have. We're born with it. We lost it. Want to get it back. We had our feeling mind. We lost our feeling mind. Okay, well, we didn't lose it. It just froze up. So our access to it, the aliveness of it, we lost the aliveness, the access to the aliveness of it. So the feeling self froze up like that. Again, emotional hypothermia, emotional coma, emotional catatonia. Okay, Echo becomes a statue. Faithful John becomes a statue. Okay, the rabbit becomes a velveteen rabbit, stuffed rabbit. Okay, the boy becomes wooden. Like these kind of things. That's metaphor that the feeling self is unavailable to the person. It's numb, petrified, turned to stone, unavailable, down the tunnel, etc. So then, okay, let's quickly enter Disney's film Inside Out #1, the first one. Okay, so you got the 5 characters. Okay, so put joy, sadness, put a circle around joy and sadness. Okay, fear, anger, disgust, put another circle around those 3. Okay, right off the bat, you see the feelings for the 2 parts of the brain. Okay, the middle feeling brain, the basic one, joy, sadness, the representatives of it. That's like the golden ball. And joy runs the console kind of thing. Okay, now when joy and sadness was frozen or zooped away, remember they went up the tube, got zooped away. That's called repression. Same thing. That's like this cord getting pulled down. The tube went up, twirled, still went down, just detoured. Okay, then that's unavailable. So if the person can't come from their beingness, from the feeling self, the system registers an immense fear with the mother. The mother's a monster now, so you're in survival mode now. Now you can't trust or play or relax or feel or make I statements or free associate or be close to someone in a loving, mutual way. You can't do any of that kind of stuff because you're not in survival mode. So fear and anger hop on the console, right? Fear easily gets overwhelmed. Anger mainly runs the console. So anger is hypervigilant, okay, blowing off steam. Because when you're not feeling, you feel pain, and the pain leads to the tension, and the anger is there. So you're always blowing off steam. Oh, maybe I can. We're doing okay here. Let's just do. Oh, I wonder if I should. If that's like a meeting of theirs, I got a feeling it's gonna last longer. Oh. Yeah, this is the best. This is the best spot, actually. Too bad I couldn't bring a chair here. I wish these guys had much more space, like more. It's a popular hotel, 40 stories or something. Oh no, 35 or something. It's just got this little mini lobby that I was in. So that's pretty much it. Okay, so let's back up a sec. So true self, false self. So we're going through life with the false self, right? And the false self, you got the stingers and the clingers versions of the false self. And embedded in the umbrella of the stingers, you got a whole bunch. Under the clingers, okay, it's likewise. Passive, you got the higher functioning passive. That's the clingers to summarize. I'm a child, everyone else is amazing. I'm no good, you're good. Stingers say, forget that. My no goodness, you can have it. You're no good. That's me. Okay, I'll find you as a proxy for my soul, and I'll hate it because mother hated me, and I'll play the mother who hated me, and I'll let you play me, so I can avoid the pain of it, and I'll be one with the mother, and I'll get excited. So it's perverse stuff, right? They hate themselves, they hate others, and they're excited with their mother. That's a stinger modality. Because they're in survival mode. They're just one with the mother, mimicking the mother, imitating the mother, being the mother, thinking that maybe somehow they can save the mother, cure the mother, heal the mother, make the mother be a loving mother, mirror the mother. Because what happens, why this goes on, because some mothers, as mentioned earlier, use the baby, want the baby to save them, and babies will cooperate. Yes, mother, I'll try to save you. Okay. So let's say the baby comes out of the uterus and is looking for a mother. Okay. And there's some kind of old cunning tale with her. Okay. Maybe she's repeating what had happened to her. Maybe the mother repeats what had happened to her. So she casts her own baby as a proxy of her when she was a baby. Okay. And she identified with the aggressor already. So she replays what happened to her. All right, baby, you're going to play me when I was a baby. I'm going to play my mother. So I'm going to see you as me. I'm going to be the mother. I'm going to repeat what happened back in that past, because when trauma takes place in that survival brain, there's no time there. Crocodiles don't know time. There's no time. All time is that time. The present is sometimes called the presenting past. Or the present is just going to be like a new edition of the past, replay of the past, reenactment of the past, psychodrama of the past, melodrama of the past. It's still always the past. So all time is that time, in other words. So that mother might have a baby. All right, baby, you're going to play me now. I can't play myself because I'm the mother now. So the mother shames her own baby the way her mother had shamed her, because she's become her. Okay, thank you, baby, for playing me as a baby, and I shamed you because I'm a mother. But the truth is, baby, I'm actually angry at my mother. So now I'm going to flip-flop. You play my mother. You're going to be a proxy of my mother back then. I'm going to see you as the monster who hurt me. Okay, and I'm going to play me. I'm going to try to control you because I still got to get mother's needs met. So you'll play my mother now. The poor baby can't say, mother, what's going on here? I'm neither you nor your mother back in the nursery here. Mother can't do it because she's stuck in the emotionality of the past. So cognitively, she can think and believe whatever she wants, but her behavior and her emotions and her motivations called unconscious motivation. Iceberg metaphor. The power of the iceberg metaphor. Compare the power between the doormat at a luxury building, who might be braggadocio, whom you see, versus the invisible owner, who's on a billion-dollar yacht in the Virgin Islands, who you don't see. You don't even know who it is, or the castle, or so whatever it is. So who's got more power? The invisible owner of the luxurious condo complex, or the braggadocio doorman who you see? And the doorman thinks he's so important like that. Who's got more power? The guy in the yacht, or the guy in minimum wage at the door, whatever it is? Okay, so that's the kind of thing we're dealing with here. So the unconscious has way more power, like the iceberg metaphor. Unconscious motivation. Okay, this is linked to all the energy in the survival brain. And this is unfinished business with the mother, unfinished business with the mother. So there's a struggle with her. Baby wants to control the mother. Maybe baby thinks he's going to devour the mother, possess the mother. To get somewhere, he's got to get a mother, right? All babies need a mother, so he's angry like this, right? Okay, so or some others just that's just one of the old cunning tales of how a mother might use the baby to meet her needs. Okay, the mother might enjoy the oneness. She doesn't feel alone. Mothers parentify the baby. Baby, you take care of me. I like this. I was never mothered. You be there for me. You comfort me. You see me. You'll respond to me. You'll respect me. You'll be there for me. You'll do what I say. I'll feel respect. I never got that from my mother, so I'm going to parentify you, baby. Baby, you're going to be my mother. What's the baby? Okay, this is baby's he's not being seen. He's not being loved. He's being thingified, used, treated like something in the past. He's not being seen for who he is in the present. Okay, the mother didn't read Gibran. The mother didn't read Virginia Satir, Og Mandino. Okay, the mother didn't read the book Babies Are Human Beings. She can't enjoy the present because she's stuck with too much pain in the past. You can't love life in the present if you got so much pain in the past. All time is the past, so she can't enjoy the present because she's stuck in the past due to the pain. Due to the pain, she transfers the past to the present because of that pain and recreates in the present the childhood scene in the past because of the pain. Unfinished business, trying to resolve it. It's an infinite loop. Okay, that snake brain, that survival brain, okay, the spine. Janov calls it the salamander brain. The salamander looks like a snake, right? Salamander brain. That brain doesn't know time. Okay, so all the memories in there, the battle with the mother's in there. So all time is that time. Okay, so you can't reason with a salamander about time. It doesn't understand time. Okay, so now, what is the baby? What is the baby gonna? It's as if maybe the baby says to the mother, "Holy, you know what, mother? What's going on here? You're not loving me. You're not meeting my needs. Let me think for a second. Well, everything's love or a cry for love. Let me think now. Mother's not loving me. She's hating me, using me. I feel enraged like this. Let me interpret her behavior and her pain as a cry for love. Oh, mother, you're crying for love. Don't worry, mother. I'll save you. I'll fix you. I'll cure you. I'll heal you. I'll make you be a loving mother. I'll magically fix you, mother. Don't worry, mother. I'm a magic God. I can fix you. I'll save you. Plus, of course, the baby needs a loving mother. He's motivated for himself. He needs a loving mother. He wants a good relationship with a loving mother, so he's got to fix it first. I'm going to fix you, mother. Don't worry, mother. I'll fix you. I'll cure you. I'll heal you. Okay. So, meanwhile, what compromise or what effort? How is the child going to attempt this? What's he going to do? Okay. The mother. It's as if maybe the baby said to the mother, "Mother, what do you need? What do you need to be healed?" Well, baby, the truth is, when I was a baby, my mother didn't see me. She didn't recognize me. She didn't validate me. She didn't was attuned to me and mirror me and let us feel one like that. You didn't get the oneness with your mother? You didn't get that blissful, symbiotic oneness with your mother? Is that what you're saying? Yeah, I'm sorry, baby, I didn't get that. Okay, well, tell you what, mother. We're already one, right? I'll just play that mother for you. I'll maintain the oneness. I don't think it works like that. Oh, mother, I gotta try to save you here. So I'll be the mother for you. I'll mirror you. I'll give you that symbiotic phase. I'll give you that Garden of Eden for you. Okay. Now, of course, I've got to sacrifice myself for this. So my authentic self will be frozen, exiled, shamed, devalued, no good, and I'll see others as no good to not feel it for myself. So I'll mimic you. I'll identify with you. I'll be one with you. I'll think just like you. I'll act like you. I'll be you. I'll be you. We'll be one. We'll be one. That's what you want, right, mother? So we'll be one. I'll think like you. Now, what'd you do to me? You shamed me. Okay, I'm going to shame myself. Okay, but now, mother, give me a break here. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to find proxies to play me and I'll shame them. That'll distract me of the pain of it. That keeps me in an ongoing effort to try to save you. So the baby's going to imitate the mother in life. At the same time, as just mentioned, he is angry at her. So the proxies who play him, he'll suddenly flip-flop and see them as the mother who hurt him, then he wants to control them. So originally, embedded in this argument with the mother, baby and the mother, okay, before he crossed over, made the deal with the, got the power, lives forever, the deal with the image he makes, the deal with that image. He's going to act like that. That's why he feels powerful and lives forever. Because time. This thing with mythology of living forever, that's because the brain doesn't know time, infinite, no time. That's why they say live forever. Live forever, there's no time. There's no time. That's why they say live forever. If there's time, you don't live forever. So that's called timelessness. We did 3 videos on this topic of timelessness a couple of months ago in the park, I remember. Me and the cat that time. If you look at the video, the thumbnail with me and the stray cat on my shoulder, that area there, we did 3 videos. Oh, I love the stray cats. They're awesome, yeah. The cats are friendly. Cats are amazingly friendly. Some of them will just hop on your lap kind of thing. They're very friendly. I don't see too many of them, actually. But the few you see around here are very friendly. How about over here? Let's see. Still. Forget about the pool. Okay, let's just stay here a little. Okay. Okay, so this is attachment theory. The baby must attach to the mother. How does he attach to the mother safely if she's hurting him? The compromise is he'll beat her. That way he can trick himself to not feel the pain of her if he is her. So he manages it that way. If he's going to be the one who hurts himself, that he buffers, he's like prepared for it, so to speak. If he's going to hurt himself, he can like be aware of it, so he can prepare himself, so to speak. So it gives him time to find a proxy to play himself and shames the proxy to minimize the pain of replaying, re-experiencing how the mother shames him, because he's the mother who shames himself. So that's the idea about identification with the aggressor. Okay, to have a mother and to try to save her. Now, he's going to be addicted, the little white flower. He's one with her, the blissful feeling. Okay, and of course, he hates her all the time, and he is her. Okay, so he's going to be the mother, imitate the mother, to try to save her. At the same time, he hates her. So how does he be the mother at the same time hate her if he is her? Okay, enter the proxy phenomena, the emotional triangle, the scapegoating. So in new situations, okay, enter the loop, infinite loop. So in that salamander brain, there's no time. All time is that time. So let's enter Edmund Berger's simile of the record. Okay? Every neurotic is a music enthusiast, but he only has one record, a 45 record. He carries it with him everywhere he goes. Every time he sees a turntable with never-ending fiery ardor, he spins off that tune. Okay? So in the brain, in the survival brain, salamander brain, okay, there's a memory neural circuit. There's a memory there, unthought known, but it's known. Memories are relational. A baby was passive, mother was active aggressive. That's grooved in. They even identified the name of the chemicals that seal in that neural circuit, something catecholamines, or I forgot what. Go to the Janov codes for that, 2745 to 70. Oh, the coffee's kicking in, eh? See, the reason you're seeing me talking quickly, because I'm not a caffeine drinker. I drink one coffee, and for about 2 hours I speak a mile a minute. But there's a lot of material here, so I feel like, anyways, memories are really, so imagine in the survival brain, this little infinite loop, this timeless loop. Baby cried for love, mother said no. Baby cried for love, mother said no. Again and again, it's forever, it's infinite, timeless, going on infinitely. Okay? Now, this loop, there's a basic inherent conflict here. Baby had a need, mother said no. A lot of pain around noting the needs. Doesn't know the needs, but has the needs. Okay, the wish and the fear, the need and the fear. This is a huge conflict like this. Okay, simple, basic Pavlovian classical conditioning. He has needs, but there's so much fear around it. Doesn't know the needs because of the pain, but he still has the needs. Yikes. Okay, imagine this memory, this loop, this problem, this inner conflict. Okay, neurosis is the petrification of this inner conflict that's repressed. It's pressed on a record, 45 record. Okay, every neurotic, it makes the person neurotic because all time is that time. All time is a replay of that time. Okay, you're not loving life in the present, you're not enjoying life in the present. Because you're just using the present to recreate, restage, reenact the melodrama, psychodrama, sort of an as if it's the past, because you're still in the past. You're seeing the present in terms of the past. The present's still the past. You're still in the past all the time because of the pain. This constant need to get mother's love, but there's so much pain you never got it. But that's the thing about repetition compulsion. We got this compulsion. We got to get mother's love, but she said no. But there's no time there. All time is that time, but you got to repeat it. But she said no. That's the conflict issue, right? So, back to Berger, one of our mentors, Edmund Berger. Oops, hold on a second. That's okay, yeah, thanks. It's too bad I couldn't use that. They've got this little bar thing on the second floor, but it's only open at night. Too bad I couldn't use it during the day. That would have been perfect. Oh, it's okay, it's okay. Every neurotic is a music enthusiast, but he only has this 145. Okay, side B is the same song as side A, or there are no grooves on side B. The point is, those 45s only have one song. Let's call it the cry for love. It's a conflict. It's a cry, but there's pain, but the need is there. It's a cry for love, and it was never met, but the cry is still there. Never met, cry, not met. This is the conflict. Okay, so in new situations, okay, he's going to restage that interaction, what that memory. He's going to replay it. He's going to redo that thing in the past, in the present, with others as stand-ins. So like actors, they call it transference, acting out like actors. You're going to be like actors. So you're going to cast somebody else in the role of you, and you might play the mother. Then you might flip it around. Okay, you play yourself and others are the mother. You might flip it around. So you're going to replay this thing. Okay, so every neurotic is a music enthusiast, but he only has one record. He carries it with him everywhere he goes. Every time he sees a turntable, a record player, a phonograph, a Victrola player, Okay? With never-ending fiery ardor. That's the compulsion, the fiery ardor. That's the baby's energy and drive to find the mother. That's the fiery ardor, this passion of the baby to get mother's love, to get the attachment, to suckle, to nurse, to feel safe, to get to heaven, to get the egg. She's looking for that symbiotic oneness, the blissful oneness. Babies are not meant to lose that Garden of Eden so early on. They got to get an extended Garden of Eden. Okay, that's this area. So with never-ending fiery ardor, okay, he plays that tune. So the simile or the metaphor is that in this situation, he's going to recreate. Whoops. He's going to recreate that interaction in the present, okay, and not see the present for people who they are. Okay, so that's yesterday's quote called depersonalization. You don't really fully see them as who they are as people. You're just seeing them as stand-ins for the past. You're casting people into a drama, like actors like that. You're not seeing them as people for who they are. So you're going to replay the thing. Now, if the trauma's before 18 months, when they replay the thing, they don't play themselves. They find proxies to play them. So the other will be them, and they play the shaming mother. Okay? So the memory is, as a baby, they cried for love. Mother said no. New situation. Oh, cry for love again? No, too much pain. How's that going to work? How's he going to cry for love when there's so much pain before 18 months? He can't do it. It's just way too painful. He can't do it. Something happens. It's called projection, externalization. He's going to find a proxy, a scapegoat. So you play me. Okay, so that's how he does it. He finds someone else to play him. You play me as a baby crying for love. You want something, you need something, you're vulnerable, you're trusting, you're innocent. Okay, you're pure, you're innocent, okay, like I was. So you play me as a baby. Okay, you play my humanness. Okay, and I'm going to shame and devalue and wreck it, because that's what my mother did to me, and I got to do that because that's what's on the record. What's on the record? Okay, he was shamed by the shaming mother, the rejecting mother. So he finds a proxy to play him and shames them, rejects them the way his mother. Now at the same time, okay, in that survival brain, they have what's called primary mentation. This mentation is primary, secondary. The primary mentation is timeless, flip-flop, morphing, shape-shifting, house of mirrors, hall of mirrors, twisting, morphing, quicksilver. This up is down, civilization, condensation. This can represent that. This can be for that. This can be code for that. This could be code for that and that and that. It's all over the place. Okay, it's mad in there. The cat in Alice in Wonderland says, yo, it's mad there. Don't expect any normal secondary conscious logic in here. It's a different kind of unconscious logic, if you want to use that phrase. So there's no real logic in there. The only quote-unquote logic in the unconscious is that there's no time. Since there's no time, there's no contradiction. Everything's true. So when people lie to you all the time, they always think everything's true, like they're coming from that kind of place. And people can't make it. Okay. Yeah, BP, the amalgam comes from there, yeah. Okay, so the primary mentation, okay, things can morph and shape-shift and twist and flip. So that's the primary mind. So when the stinger personality pattern replays the record, they find the proxy to play them, they shame them. Now at the same time, post-trauma, we live with the unconscious hope for the fulfillment of old unfulfilled needs. We still have that need. So the baby cried for love. Okay, that's you crying for love, trying to get your need, but you shamed yourself, using the proxy as you. Okay. Now you're going to continue. Now what about the fight with the mother? So you found a proxy. So you were, in other words, first you were the mother who said no to you. Now how about you yourself fighting with the mother? Okay, proxy, you play my mother now. You play the monster mother. You play the cyclops. You play the monster. Okay, the whatever. I'm going to play myself. I'm a little older now, and I'm going to continue my battle. So I'm going to control you, hate you, because the baby's in a state of hate with his mother. So he's going to hate the person. So he shames the innocent person that hates them. Right? Because that's what had happened to him. He was shamed and he hated his mother. The confusion is still there. So likewise, so that's called the emotional triangle theory, systems theory, Murray Bowen, etc. Scapegoating theory. So he's loyal to the record. It's messed up. Repetition compulsion is meant to make us conscious of the past. See, we're trying to remember the past, so we do all this stuff in the present to know what had happened in the past. The things we're doing in the present, that's communication from us to us. We're meant to make the inference. It's our unconscious self, our real self, okay, talking to the conscious self, the fake self. Hey, fake self, I'm giving you something real here. Can you know it? Can you see it? What you're doing in the present, this is real in the past. Can you make the inference? Okay, that's making the unconscious conscious. Okay, when the Rapunzel's husband hopped over the witch fence to the witch's garden, plucked up the rampion, the carrots that look like the radishes, the white radishes in the shape of a carrot. When he pulls up the rampion, called Rapunzel in German, hopped over the fence and she ate the Rapunzel, the radish. She integrated and accepted material from the unconscious. You want to make the unconscious conscious, or Hermes flies across with the message from the unconscious to the conscious, where it was, ego shall be. You want to make the unconscious conscious. You want more and more of what's denied about you, repressed about you, get frozen about you. You want to be conscious more and more about what's going on like this. So you want to make the unconscious conscious. Again, in okay, just quickly, the Rapunzel. Yeah. So you got the. Okay, right. So based on the German film called Rapunzel or the Magic of Tears. In German, yes, English subtitles, simple, basic. It's a slow pace, but it's still worth the hour. I would watch it. I don't know if there's a better version of the thing, but so the castle is poor and dead and all this. So it means the person feels in debt. They feel guilty. They feel impoverished. They feel empty. They feel impoverished. They say, "Oh, we're in debt. We're in debt." So that's the conscious side, the conscious part. Okay. That the person feels like that, what they're saying about the kingdom and all that. Now in the forest, that's the unconscious. They got Rapunzel locked in a tower. So you want to go into the unconscious and bring back Rapunzel. Right? So the image of this taking place is when in another version, you got the house and the wall and the neighbor, the witch's garden with the garden. Okay, and the guy had to hop over the fence into the witch's garden, pluck up the rampions, take it over the fence, and the wife would eat it. And that's the process. So in the unconscious, you want to pull up the roots. That's like deep in your unconscious, something you didn't know is buried, dark. In the soil is dark, so you want to bring it up and integrate it. Okay, make the unconscious conscious. Oh, maybe I should. Oh, there's a bunch of people just in front of me. Maybe I can go back up. I want to make sure they're gone when I go back. It's okay here. All right, let's just try this. Oh yeah, you'll see my anxiety, my jitters, caffeine. I got anxiety and caffeine. So once again, my disclaimer, I'm not a shrink, professor, psychologist, midwife, doula, nutritionist, gynecologist. I don't have a master's degree, I never studied psychology, nothing like that. I've never been analyzed. I didn't do this analytic process. So I'd love to, of course. So I'm trying to just understand this process. What is this analytic process? What is this about? So Masterson is a great teacher, Karen Horney, and all the authors that we have in our encyclopedia. I don't know why I keep calling it an encyclopedia. It sounds too imposing, right? It's just a good, resourceful, treasureful, convenient collection of quotes from this Know Thyself tradition. Okay, know your unconscious self, get it to your conscious self, make the unconscious conscious. Psychoanalysis means make the unconscious conscious. Where it was, ego shall be. Ego is your conscious, it is your unconscious, the energy in your unconscious. All that's in the unconscious. And the power there. So it's like the iceberg metaphor. No, the iceberg metaphor just conveys the power of the unconscious. Yeah, okay. Let's try. Yeah, it's busy down here. Yeah, here's that closed bar. Yeah, too bad I can't use it. Yeah, that's sort of an upscale residential condo complex. I see a lot of fancy cars on the ground floor. Oh, yeah, yeah. I just noticed it's closed. Huh? Hi. The bar is closed, right? Under renovation?
Yes,
yeah.
The bar closed.
Yeah, I wish I could use it. Me again.
Welcome back.
Oh, they're still there. Oh, they're still there. Let's just wait a little longer. How's the lighting? How's lighting here? Is that better? Not too bad. Oh, looks like this. Is that okay? How about here? Lighting's okay. Yeah, okay. Let's continue. Just a little like this hotel sort of at the edge of things, so a little okay, where are we? Hang on a sec. I'm not in the main core downtown busy area. I'm sort of on in another busy area, but also busy, but not the busiest of the busiest. So this is not bad here. It's manageable here, this area. Still busy, of course. I take the SkyTrain. Yeah, there it is there. Okay, enough delaying here. So let's finish this point about the record. Let's go back to the record. This infamous record called Repetition Compulsion. It's not just Mr. Freud and Berger and these guys. It's been known for thousands of years that when there's too much trauma, we have a hard time loving life in the present. So we have to struggle with the mother. Now, Janoff puts it this way: when you finally give up this struggle, when you give up this relentless, unreal hope that you're going to get mother's love, when you admit it, finally admit it, you didn't get it, you're not going to get it, no symbol of mother in the present can be the actual mother, no time machines, you can't change what had happened. It happened. It was a one-way ticket. You can't undo it. You can't still hope to get mother's love. It's the death of this hope that's the birth of new life, he says. So you got to get to that point where you finally realize you're doing the same thing over and over again. You're not going to get that what you needed back in the nursery. That was a one-time thing. If you didn't get it, you didn't get it. You got to understand it, forgive the mother for it, get her story. Why of behavior? Why didn't the mother meet the baby scene. Why did the mother fail the baby? Why did the mother abuse, traumatize the baby? Why did she do this? Why did she repeat her trauma in the present with the baby? Okay, was she traumatized herself? Was she trying to get her needs met using the baby? Was she in this compulsion due to her compulsion? Was she also driven by her iceberg power? Okay, was she blinded like this? Okay, so you got to understand stuff about her. That leads to understanding. Okay, understanding is synonymous with forgiveness. Okay, and as you admit things and know things, that's like weaving a basket. In the basket, an egg can appear. In the egg, cracks up the firebird. Okay, and when the firebird flies up, you're getting back your feelings. Okay, so that's the ashes to the phoenix metaphor. Okay, when the soul's crushed, when you get the basket, the feelings can come back. See, the soul's never gone. It's just metaphorically ashed or something, like the trauma. But out of the ashes can come the phoenix, the firebird. Okay, that's the metaphor. In one story, the protagonist hops in the back of the firebird, rides the firebird. That's called emotional knowing. So cognitive insight is not enough. But you need the insights first. That's like weaving a catcher's mitt. Then you can catch the ball. Okay, psychoanalysis looks for an egg in a basket that's missing. So first weave the basket. Okay, then you get the egg and the feelings come back to you. You don't control that. That nature does that. You don't control that. You can't bypass something. You can't take pills, or you can't do that. You got to give yourself a break. So these quotes can help, theories can help, poetry, all this kind of knowledge kind of area can help. That communicates that you want to get back your feelings. If you admit the truth that you didn't get what you can admit the truth that your mother failed you. Okay, the greatest hurt of all, mother failed me. You got to get to this realistic point. The truth will upset you free. You got to get to that upset-free place. That's called the mourning process. Okay, all of the joy for which you pray is 100 tears away. So to be able to do the 100 tears away, you need some kind of safety in your mind. So you need these theories. So these theories there's no perfect answer here. These are like, it's kind of like, it's meant to be seen as clues, and you're the detective, and you got to piece it together. This mystery, right? This crime, maybe it's a little crime. You got to piece it together. Be a detective. So psychoanalysis is all about you getting to a place where you're going to be your own existential detective, emotional detective, psychological detective. Okay. So it's not the, and forgive yourself for what happened. Forgive yourself for the false belief that you're going to save the mother. No, nonsense. It's no baby's job to save a traumatized mother. No, nonsense. See, the problem with this issue is the baby lives with unconscious guilt. Okay, guilt in German means debt. Okay, so now people can co-opt this. People can use this. Oh, you're in debt. So 20% put others in debt. Others are in debt because everyone feels guilty. Someone collects the money from you because you feel guilty, debt, and then they take it because mother took it in them. So you're getting this perversion like this. You're getting this disturbance like this. We can't have babies traumatized. See, when babies are removed from the mother, they end up with this unconscious guilt. Remember how the baby's trying to save the mother, cure the mother? If he can't, he feels guilty. He didn't save the mother. He feels guilty. What's wrong with him? Why couldn't he save the mother? He did something wrong. He failed. He's guilty. That's called guilt, debt, sin, right? So there's no original. So that's the psychology of the baby thinking he's guilty. That's co-opted. Okay? And then tell people, oh yeah, you're all sinners and all this stuff. Well, you're all guilty. No, nonsense. Nonsense. The baby mistakenly believes he's guilty in an attempt to feel safe with the mother. So how does that work? Okay, Fairbairn calls it the so-called moral defense. The baby's got to feel safe. He's got to find some way to trick himself to feel safe with the mother. So the baby splits now. The mother being a monster, denies it, puts it in a separate bin called splitting, and hallucinates the goddess, tricks himself that the mother's all good. So he feels no good in correspondence. So that's how he tricks himself to feel safe enough. Because if he admits the mother's a monster, he feels too bad like that. Oh, hang on. No. The mother must believe that the mother's good. So he makes up a good mother, and from that, he's okay. But he is guilty at the same time. No, it's more basic than that. It's just more simple than that. The baby just concludes he's defective and no good if the mother rejects him. It's just simple like that. And the mother must be seen as good. and that takes place through the splitting mechanism. Where are we here? Oh, I'm still working in the rooms, huh? This is great. Oh, I might not even use the room. What time is it? It's time flies. Oh my god, my battery's draining. Oh, hang on. What's happening here? Oh my god, my battery's not working. Actually, it's been working. Oh, look at that. My battery's draining. Oh my god, I'm glad I checked. Oh my god. 53%. It's doing a slow drain. Yeah, okay. So I might be able to squeeze it in before it runs. If by chance this cuts out suddenly, there'll be a part 2. But I gotta keep an eye on it because I don't get much of a warning. If the camera shuts out suddenly, I lose the whole video. I have to hit the stop button to capture it. I've lost some good videos because of that. I wonder why this time it's not working. Yeah, what happened? Why? 52, yeah. It's draining. Okay, no, I've gone through this. I can't reset or anything. Okay, I gotta keep checking the battery to make sure. Maybe I won't do tomorrow's video. I'll save it for tomorrow. We got some good quotes coming up today, so hang in there. So we're at the record, right? The point about the record. Oh, the moral defense. Yeah, the moral defense. Maybe it says she's no good, mother must be good. Okay, let's just go back to the record. So in new situations, he reorchestrates, creates as a new edition of the past because it's still the past. He wants to replay the past. Okay, that's the compulsion. He's got to get mother's love, so he's going to replay it. Still tries to get mother's love. It never works. It never works. Okay, the proxy playing him can't get mother's love because you're the shaming mother says no. So how does that work? Impossible. Okay, but you keep doing it again and again in this infinite loop. Now, the positive intention of all this is to make you remember. When you remember and know and grieve and heal, then you stop repeating. Okay? We repeat because we don't remember. Mr. Freud's famous essay, right? Repeating, working through, remembering. Actually, we'll have some quotes about the working through, this jargon called working through. Yeah, so a famous essay came out in 1914, is that right? 110 years ago. One of the most famous essays by Mr. Freud is called Remembering, Repeating, Working Through, something like that. And the basic message was, if you don't know and you're going to repeat. That's you trying to remember. When you repeat, you're acting it out and staging in an attempt to remember. You're trying to remember, but you don't have words for it. When you put words to it and grieve it, then you stop repeating. Then the ghost is laid to rest. You can love life in the present. Your energy can be free for the present if you give up this relentless battle with the mother. Now, you can only give up this relentless battle with the mother when you forgive her, understand what's going on, and get the knowledge in that area. It works. People can. You don't have to be. You don't have to be dysfunctional your whole life. A lot of success stories of people, in their later years, doing things differently, healthier, more healthily. Sometimes it's the realization that the mother's been dead for 50, 40 years that you realize, wait a minute, why am I still fighting with her? She's been under the ground for 40 years or in the ocean for 40 years. Oh, there's the blank one. Find your real self. Patreon.com/narrative medicine. That's the blank sky train. I have a fantasy that I can say there. Find your real self. Patreon.com/narrative medicine. Be your own story doctor. Be your own detective. Be your own emotional detective. Be your own self-detector. Find yourself. Okay, find yourself. Find your, how's that? Find your real self. Find your real self. Well, you had it, you want to re-find it, right? You lost it. Re-find your real self. Somebody said every finding is a refining. We had it, we lost it, I want to get it back, refining. Either way, find your real self. Get back your real self. Find your golden ball. Get back your embodiment. Get back your feeling self. Patreon.com/narrativemedicine for a minimal admin fee. Still. There's some people, there's a couple talking in the next room. The paper thin walls, yeah, you can hear it. Action sounds good. Okay, let's just continue here. What's that? Oh, it's just some deco. Oh, okay. Just some. Seems, is it paper? What is it? So the idea is to somehow be aware that you're repeating. Be aware that what you're doing is a communication from you to you of what happened in the past. So you can know the past, grieve, meaning admit that you didn't get the love that you needed. That's a huge loss. That's called grief. But doing that helps you get back yourself. That's why sadness is at the console first, then joy can come. You can't bypass the sadness part. You can't magically get joy later. First sadness, then joy. And you see that in the film. In both films, sadness first, then joy. In both films, it showed you that sequence. It's more vivid in the first one, in that area. Oh yeah, for interpretation, for a more complete interpretation of Inside Out 2, I go to 2840. 2840. So we talk about repression. Remember the tube, the ejection tube, repress. And then the other side came on. So you got the two either or false beliefs, false sense of selves. Then they were removed. Then you got a new sense of self. But how'd you get there? Well, first you have to find this free association, the stream of consciousness. They couldn't find that at first. That's code for we have a resistance to free associate. Finally they found it. They were afraid to do it. Finally they got on it. And then you free associate. So riding the broccoli boat, riding that raft, the broccoli raft, going back to the back of the brain. That's called free association. Say what comes to mind, more memories coming up. You're getting closer and closer to your unconscious. And when you go as far as you can, kind of thing. When you get to the core repressed memories, there's what's called apprehension, a genuine healing catharsis. So all that old stuff that you bury can come to your consciousness. And when it came up, you saw the cables to your consciousness. Okay? And that's why the previous either or things didn't work. You had to remove them and allow a new sense of self that could hold the two, okay? The tension of the opposites. And that's why you saw the group hug there at the end. The group hug was like we're holding and embracing the ambivalence and accepting the ambivalence, three-dimensionality of it all. That we're not just either or. The mother wasn't a goddess or demon, and nor are you so special, elitist, or always no good. It's not like that. You got the reality is something in the middle. That we're humans, that we're wounded, something good, something painful, something confused, but still good. Trying gifts, we're lost, frozen, trying, but still some good. You gotta get, okay. So go to Bruce Springsteen, Independence Day, Toronto on YouTube, and listen to the introduction that he gives to that song in Toronto in particular. I noticed he did a version of it in Oslo as well, but in particular, go to the Toronto one. Okay, so Bruce Springsteen. Before he sings his song Independence Day, meaning emotional independence day, emotional freedom, okay, from the abusive mother, from the monster mother, because he is her. Like, how do you be free from the mother? How do you be free from the monster if you're acting like her? So how do you do? That's Orestes. How do you do that? Well, you got to see the two sides. In Orestes, you saw the two sides. The courtroom scene of the 50-50, and Athena said, "Okay, you saw the two sides. You're free. You got yourself." So the rest of the metaphors that he had to find himself, but to do so when you never got mother's love brings up the furies. That's how you felt. It's called abandonment depression. Your mother's guilt trip attackers on you. How you would feel if you were alone with no mother. That's the furies chasing you. So he was chased by the furies. Got to the courtroom scene. Metaphor that you forgive the mother. It's not how it is actually outwardly. It's metaphor for inwardly. So inwardly, he got to a place where half said yes, half said no. Okay. So a part of him, well, that's code for seeing the two sides. Like Riley and Inside Out, there were two sides. I'm kind, no, I'm not kind. I'm silly, I'm playful, no, I'm cynical. Or, he saw the two sides of things. I'm helpful, no, I'm hurtful. He saw the two sides, and then they held it, and that's like Athena saying, okay, you got a new sense. They got a new sense of self. Then Riley could feel she was relaxed, okay, she could apologize, she made new friends, she was successful, got the scholarship, everything was good like that. And her manner was calm. Okay, so anxiety took a back seat, taking a massage chair, sipping some tea. So anxiety could take a back seat, and joy can come back at the console. So we had joy at the console at the beginning, we lost it, want to get it back. So in 2840, we run through these images. Okay, the popping machine, repression, the free association, the stream of consciousness, the broccoli boat called free association. Okay, the abreaction called the avalanche scene, like that, and then the psychosynthesis. A new sense of self that holds the two, called the third side of the coin. The way, Lao Tzu, the way, the medium, the middle way, the golden mean, the middle, the golden middle. Okay, the third side of the coin, three-dimensional, meaning we're human but traumatized from all sides. So it's a three-dimensional thing. It's not an either or based on mother's a goddess or demon, or you're a special joy or terrible, no good, film, insult, disparaging term. A lot of people focus on this. A lot of people refer to themselves in that kind of manner by their projections, by saying others are right. And that's a sign of splitting. We're humans, but we're wounded. We're all members of Homo Traumacus. We're trauma survivors. We're confused. We got these memories called unconscious fantasies now, and they drive us. And in a drive for healing, at the same time, we're meant to observe our behavior as a communication from us to us, from the unconscious to conscious. The more we do so, the more we move towards getting back our feelings, getting back the golden ball. Okay, so Snow White wakes up, Odysseus gets home, reunites with Penelope, this cord comes up, becomes Persephone. Okay, the key, you get the key out from under mother's pillow, you free Iron John, the golden ball. These kind of images, okay, we're getting back ourselves. Okay, the firebird, okay, the phoenix comes up, the emotional feelings, the vibrancy of the feathers of the firebird. That's like the sun radiates like that, the colorful flames. We're getting our feelings, that's what they mean. Jeez, they're still there. Oh, hang on. What time is it? I gotta leave here anyways. Oh, it's close to 4. Oh, I gotta leave here anyways soon. Can everything where am I gonna go? Let's think. Oh, I could try that hot pot place. I found a new place, the hot pot. It's so noisy now. I'm kind of limited with where I can go. The lobby here doesn't work. So the pool, forget it up there. That's packed up there. My goodness. It's about 42%. Considering the battery is also a factor, I'm thinking of doing this as a 2-parter. That's okay. The good quotes. Good quotes coming up. So the stingers identify with the aggressor, They find proxies to play their soul, which they shame. Then they see the proxies to the mother, which they attack, thinking they're going to control the mother because they're angry at the mother. It doesn't work. We're not making sense. Okay? Now, this is all considered survival anxiety. So the slogans of life, their slogans of life are always these jungle slogans. My greed, your greed. You know, they don't understand the quote-unquote human side of it. They don't trust, feel, make I statements. They can't ride the broccoli boat. Forget it. No way. They're not going to tell you the truth. The last time they had the truth, well, look what happened. They're not simple, basic, Pavlovian, classical conditioning. They can't tell the truth. They can't make an I statement. They can't free associate. They can't trust. Okay? So that's so they're always in this survival mode of this original interaction with the mother, where they thought they were a goner. Yeah, remember, when the mother doesn't meet the baby's needs, he's in survival mode. He's a goner. He's stuck in that kind of mode. So it's an imprint. It's burned in. He sees his whole life through that model, this working model. So he's still operating on this old, archaic, primitive working model. He doesn't realize that he's out of the nursery. Emotionally, the survival brain doesn't know time. That's hence the survival slogan. So part of the survival slogans, part of the survival ideas is that don't admit, don't feel, don't apologize, no regrets, all these kind of barbaric slogans. Okay, we're not in the jungle, we already climbed down from the trees, play coney hatch, monkey bars. See, we're meant to know that we're traumatized. That's the first step. To admit that we're traumatized. Admit it. We're a member of Homo Traumicus. We're all trauma survivors. Just admit it. And then you're getting sober. So when Michael Jackson sings the song, Heal the World, well, heal the people. First step, admit that we're traumatized. Heal the people. Heal the people. Okay, and you start by looking in the man in the mirror. Okay, the person in the mirror. Another one of his songs, right? It looks like they're not going to leave soon, so that's. I'm still thinking where I can go, because their party is gonna. They said it starts at 5, but what is it? 3:46, 40%. I want to be out maybe by 4:30 at the latest. So the main psychic elements of this sting of personality patterns are hate, greed, envy or grenvy, spite, vindictiveness, schadenfreude, grievance collecting. Okay, Berger calls it injustice collecting. From their yardstick, they got this impossible infantile yardstick. They're looking for the perfect blissful one. That's the yardstick. So it never works. Okay, so they're always searching for the infantile megalomania, so they got to shame others because that's their soul. They project their soul onto others and shame others, thinking they've got to shame their soul, okay, because they're still in that place where they didn't pass 18. They didn't pass the 18-month. Sorry. Still recording? Let's see. Down to 38. Okay. So one thing about trauma before 18 months is when the soul is projected out, they take refuge in that time in the uterus where they were a king on the throne, like that. So to do that, they got to shame their soul, but to avoid the pain of it, they got to find a proxy to play them and shame them. Even though they're still shaming themselves, they don't feel the pain of it when it's externalized. When they see their pain externalized, that's a defense against the pain. So we project because of the pain. Yesterday's video, yeah. Oh yeah, yesterday's video was not bad about the link between projection and pain. I think it was the third one or something. The fourth, the top set. Now, of course, the constant issue, one of the constant issues with the sting of personality patterns Okay, the survival anxiety. Okay, don't feel, don't trust, no I statements, no intimacy, no free association. Okay, the survival slogans, just fighting with the mother's nipple, basically, and always in this battle like that. So they're coming from a place where the baby, how's the baby supposed to apologize if he's enraged at his mother, if she hurts him? He's not supposed, and so, let's say the baby, let's say a 2-day-old baby bites the nipple, right? And the mother's in pain, screaming, ouch, how dare you? Well, baby, you apologize to me, baby. Really? You're gonna expect that from the baby? He's in survival, he's angry, he's communicating that you're hurting him. He's angry like that. So why should he apologize to the mother? The mother should apologize to the baby and correct her ways, kind of thing. So that's where the stingers are coming from. They're coming from that kind of attitude, like that baby, psychologically. Okay. So since they're always in survival mode and they don't have their beingness, you need your beingness to have sadness at the constant. Sadness is needed to mourn. So if there are losses, you need sadness, but to have sadness, you got to have your beingness. But if you're in survival anxiety, your beingness is frozen. So therefore, if there are losses, that's called complicated grief, aggravated grief, the derailment of the grief process. Okay, so they identify with the aggressor, pathological nostalgia, melancholy, whatever you want to call it. There's this problem here with grieving. Okay, that leads to the person becoming a curmudgeon late in life, because as they get older, there are losses. Even though others are just thingified and used as proxies, it's still a loss for them. And every loss triggers all the old previous losses. As they get older, more and more losses build up. It has a snowballing effect. And as they get older, and they're more OCD-ish to want to control things, because if they control things, they feel like they didn't lose something. Like if something didn't go their way, they feel like it's a loss that triggers up all the snowball. So littler and littler things can set off all those previous unprocessed pain losses. So there's a kindling effect and a snowballing effect. Okay, so as they get older, that's why they're curmudgeons. You're on eggshells around them. Little things set them off because they didn't mourn. The psychic structure needed to mourn this differentiation, beingness. They don't have it. It's all frozen. So that's another feature about distinct personality patterns. Then, of course, they'll make now the third. What about the reasoning mind? Well, that's all co-opted to make rationalizations, excuses, duplicity, lies, flip-flop, twist, confuse, charm, fool you, fool themselves. So they enlist the cognitive side as a cloak to hide these underlying things. Actually, it's enlisted to numb the pain of it all, to make you unaware of the pain and to fool yourself and others. That's called rationalization. Also a defense mechanism. All defense mechanisms, psychic defenses, are defenses against the pain. So rationalization is a defense against the pain. If you face the truth, oh boy. Rationalization makes you away from the truth to yourself and to others. Because if you fool others, they don't call you up on anything. Yeah, so that's a key point about rationalization. If you fool others, then they won't have the ability to give you any feedback. Stingers can take feedback. The truth, you got to be kidding. That brings up feelings. They'll be enraged like this, narcissistic injury. So then they'll mock you, shame you for it, and all that, of how they feel. So the constant modalities, my soul is no good. I'm going to see that to everybody, so you're no good. I'm going to play infantile God, and I'm addicted to mother. Homotraumicus. That's it. So I think it's fair to say the stingers. There's more work to do in that trauma area. That's why in the Odyssey it takes 20 years to get back home, to get back your beingness. Ithaca's the beingness, soul castle, beingness, home, inner home, home. Ithaca's the home. Ithaca means inner home, your inner home, embodiment, sense of self, home. That home, the inner home, not some outer physical place. It's the inside quality of being at home within, sense of self. Your at home meant embodiment, at home. And then the feelings came back to feelings. I feel them for him. I Ithaca, therefore I Penelope. That kind of thing. I have Ithaca, therefore I can feel Penelope. I'm feeling so. Are they still there? Oh, they're standing up. Oh, hang on. Let's go. Let's go inside. Let's see buildings. Oh no, they're not. Oh, they're just shuffling something around. Oh, maybe they're part of the party. Oh, maybe that's what it is. Oh, what am I thinking? They might be part of the preparing for the meeting. Well, that means they're not going to leave at all. What is it? 32% with the battery, 354. So I'm never forgotten about the battery. I got all this caffeine in me. Okay, there's a lot of material about the stingers. We get they're included in the stinger area, which I won't do now, is the scapegoating phenomena. Take turns playing big shot, scapegoating a child. Okay, and the roles children play in response if two people get married and they both have the stinger personality pattern. And more details about the various stinger personality patterns. The BPD amalgam, the way people can lie to the way they, how it is they can be so successful in their duplicity. The hall of mirrors, house of mirrors, now you see me, now you don't, catch me if you can. Okay, this psychotically neurotically psychotic neural blending synthesis amalgam that allows that kind of quicksilver ability to never feel and to lie and to deceive, and they can intuit what you need and say what you want to hear to confuse you. They might pretend that they said what you said, they confuse. They might pretend that you said what they said, they confuse you. They love doubt, making things confusing. It makes other people confused, so that's how they survive. They get away with things. They can't free associate. They can't make eye standards. So because of the pain, two get married, they got to scapegoat one of their children. So they take out their tension on the child. He's scapegoated like that. There's the triangle, and the child goes along with him. He's a scapegoated child, right? That child might become an Iago because he may figure out the only way to get relief from the parents is to get the parents to argue with themselves to get some pain relief. So he may find a way to do that. That scapegoated kid may end up with the Iago personality pattern. Okay, that point was briefly touched on in the comic Psychoanalysis. There's a comic called Psychoanalysis, 3 characters, the Freddie one, but that topic's in there as well. Freddie, Ellen, and Mark, 3 clients. The best 101 introduction to psychoanalysis is that comic. In 1955, a comic came out called Psychoanalysis. Okay, there were 4 issues, and the complete run of the thing got reissued 4 years ago by Dark Horse Publishing. They got a hardback for the whole thing, or the digital one. That's the best intro. You got 12 therapy sessions. It teaches you psychoanalysis. You'll get an immediate feel and a grasp of what this is all about with that comic. That did a great job, an amazing job. Okay, so there's 12 sessions in there. Okay, 5 with Mark. Okay, so there's the bully guy there, the womanizer there, the Don Juan is in there, the eaters, eating separation anxiety. There's a lot going on in there. But why he's like that? Okay, Ellen. Okay, she projects the inner critic onto everybody, and then climbs up thinking everybody's criticizing her. Self-fulfilling prophecy. Others think she's a snob in that area. And then the Freddie one is in there. That's the triangle issue of the parents scapegoating the kid. And there's more. You got repetition compulsion. You got dream interpretation. It's jam-packed with psychoanalysis. I think you'll get a good feel of what this is about. Read it slowly. Read it carefully. Take your time with it. 12 therapy sessions. Read 1 a day or some kind of thing. Spread it out over 12 days, let's say. Okay, and there's more about the stingers. We include some of the songs. Okay, I don't like that area with the songs. Think about the most disturbing 6 songs out there. That's from that area. Their humor is dark humor, black humor. Okay, that's that area. Okay, there's even a thing called trance logic. That's another point. But identification with the aggressor is a key one. That's linked to the talionic issue. Okay, so the talionic issue is linked to the identification with the aggressor issue. Okay, greed, so we talk about the greed and the envy and the grenvy and so on. In the clinger area, when they replay the record, they just play themselves and get disappointed again. That's meant for them to know that that's what happened to them as a child. Between 18 months and 36 months, no one was around for them. Okay, let's do this. Let's just let me run through the quotes. Oh, it's a huge ad. Oh my God, are you kidding? I just saw an ad for something that's unaffordable. Oh my God. Jesus. Like something nobody can, like 99% of people can't buy. Jesus. All right, hold on a second. Oh, we're still at it. Oh, the fan stopped. Oh, they got the door open. Okay, look at my stuff here. Yeah, so for the price of half a cup of coffee, one can get this encyclopedia. It's gonna go. What about here? How's lighting here? Oh, I think it's not so good here. Okay, let's run through it, and if there's a battery problem, we'll do it in part 2. Let's see, 27%. Let's just do this. Okay. Okay, this first one's a good sort of solid kind of general overview of the whole thing. It's an older quote. We're coming in now. Okay, let's change. Let's move. We're starting to come in. She looks like the head of the thing, whatever it is. Looks like a pretty stern, serious kind of person. Oh, I left just in time, eh? That's good. What time is it again? 4:03. 25%. Okay, forget it. It's not going to work. This is going to take me half an hour to cover this, at least. Okay, let's just do it this way. In part 2, what you'll get in part 2, I won't do this in part 2. I'll just jump into the quotes. I won't do this introductory part again in part 2. So in part 2, we'll give you a good. So all of this inner suffering, psychic pain, mental pain. Okay, this arises from failures in knowledge and understanding, from a breakdown in accurate apprehension of experience, from the incapacity to think out or to think through situations, from misunderstandings and the impossibility of comprehending certain experiences, from the tendency to react and repeat what has remained dormant. We suffer due to the dissolving of thought connections. Yeah, we're not making these links. See, the feeling and the knowledge of the event and the emotion of the event are kind of fragmented, like the Wizard of Oz, the three characters. So we want to fill in the gaps of memory. What this means, so to fill in gaps in memory, okay, dynamically speaking, it is to overcome resistances due to repression. To fill in the gaps of memories means to reweave the reweaving of lost thought connections. Like, we got to make those connections, standing in the spaces, make the connections between things. That's why you free your soul. Say, oh, this reminds me of this. Well, that reminds me of that. Oh my God, that reminds me of that. You're kind of trying to link things up a bit. Reconstruction. A retrieval of the complexities of the context, a reawakening of new ways of understanding past and present, a renewed effort to digest and metabolize our emotional lives, learning to let go of the past and not reenact it as an attack and defense system. Okay, so interpretations. It is not enough. It is not enough for an interpretation to be quote-unquote accurate. It also has to be experienced as empathic. So insight and empathy, relationship, empathy, and insight. You need both, right? The yin and the yang. The insight is the yang, the connection and the feeling. The empathy, that's the yin. Yin and yang. You need both. Shakti and Shiva. Yin and yang. Okay. Whereas empathic reflection is the therapist's attempt to articulate meaning that is implicit in what the client is saying. Interpretation is the therapist's attempt to convey information that is outside the client's awareness. For example, quote, I wonder if there is any similarity between your experience with your boss and the way in which you are experiencing our relationship in this moment now. Interpretations that do not involve a focus on the here and now of the relationship can run the risk of leading to a purely intellectualized understanding. It is one thing to conceptually understand one's role in a self-defeating pattern, and another to have an emotionally immediate experience of it. The latter is more likely to lead to change. Later on, there was some kind of feedback. He said, it seems to me that we're both feeling cautious with each other right now. Does that fit with your experience? Oh, I guess. So when the therapist was triggered and the client was resisting, he was resisting, the therapist had to say something. It seems that we're both stuck. What do you think? Getting light here. I gotta go around this way again, right? If I do this, yeah, I have to do this way. Every interpretation aims at a move from the paranoid schizoid position to the depressive position. Yeah, that's a new one. I've never heard that before. See, the client is in the paranoid schizoid mode usually, right? The shrink has to give the feedback that helps them make the transition from the paranoid schizoid to depressive. Okay, so meaning from either or to both and. From the simplistic either or to some kind of more feelingful holding of empathy of two sides, a positive intention, and your efforts and your well-meaning efforts and your confusion and your pain, something that is more embracive, the depressive position. Okay, now the client, meanwhile, the client feeling all this, working through all this is called working through. Okay, working through names a battle to be fought and a labor to be done, which the neurosis has for so long only served to postpone. This is the struggle within oneself. It is the labor of transformation that makes possible the rejection of the neurotic encumbrance and its symptomatic trappings in favor of a novel and presumably healthier mode of life. Working through names that aspect of the process which the client shall ultimately hold most dear, for it signifies his own victory over the clandestine operations of neurotic life. Well, that's a new one. That's a funny new one, right? So the neurosis is all like covert operations in there, right? Making, like the unconscious is like this covert puppet master, right? Like we're like the okay. So yeah, that's funny. That's an interesting way of putting it. That the unconscious is operating sort of in the hidden, right, in the dark, right? Clandestine operations of neurotic life. So this is the working through. So it's a kind of a battle, right, between our ignorance and our consciousness. Okay, one guy considered working through as being the acceptance and assimilation by the client of the truth discovered by interpretation and free association. Working through, okay, a couple parts here. One, the apprehension, the understanding or recollection of lived experience with an appropriate affect. So you got to get the feeling with the insight. It's together, right? Belated understanding with the belated feeling, tempered with the context. So you got the context, now you got the belated release of your feelings, that's the abreaction, with the belated understanding. That's working through. Two, the healthy processing and metabolization of experience through which the nurturing and constructive elements are retained while the toxic elements are expelled. Okay, so the toxic, that's, your guilt, your shame, you forgive yourselves, that's the toxic elements. You're freed from that, and you accept nature's drive for healing. The development of a rich and expressive repertoire of symbols to capture experience in malleable ways. So maybe now you see things in a more flexible way, maybe more metaphorically, let's say. The insertion of represented and symbolized experience in broader symbolic networks that allow us to revisit the story of our lives through different angles and prisms and through different symbolic lenses. So you got a new lens, a wider lens, a broader lens. You're not this narrow either or lens, you got a broader lens. The third side of the coin is a broader lens. Analysis is not simply a method of uncovering the hidden, it is more importantly a process of creating the analytic subject who has not previously existed. Yeah, so that now the client knows how to fish himself. Okay, so one metaphor of all this is unconscious, sometimes the ocean. In the water, you don't see it. Bring up a fish, take the fish. Okay, so the shrink's the fisher. The shrinker man is teaching you how to fish. He knows how to fish. He's teaching you how to fish. He doesn't give you a fish. He teaches you how to fish, how to make the unconscious conscious yourself. Now you have your own analytic mind. Now you're a detective. In other words, the shrink is teaching you how to be a detective, how to think like a shrink. One second. Oh, 14%. Okay, no way. It's okay. That's it. Now it's going to run out quickly at this point. Oh, that's a pity. Okay, so I'll run through this again. The next one's going to take more time to run through. Okay, so the next one's about entitlement and megalomania. Next one's about identification with the aggressor. The next one is about the rationalization and duplicity, the trickery idea. A reference to a play about prejudice. The last one's about transferring the problems, the unmet needs with our parents to imaginary invisible entities in the sky, that area. Okay, so whenever we do touch on religion, it's only in the context of when religion is being used as an adjunct or an arm or a part of or a tool of the pillage and the plunder. So 10,000 years ago, we transitioned from village to pillage, okay, and then we removed the babies and traumatized them to repeat what had happened to them, and they do it again and again. That's the pillaging mechanism. So and then religion is there to stop healing, to prevent healing, to maintain the pillaging. So that's only in that context talking about religion. 13%. I finally calmed down. Sometimes this happens. Yeah, I'm all worked up for the first 2 hours. I finally calmed down, then I got no battery. I gotta close it well before the. Set that right in there. Okay, so I won't do a walk. Oh, yeah, I can't do a walk. Look at that. Eh? What a pity. I missed it. Look, I got lots of daylight out. I could have gone for a walk with you. Okay, next time. Why did my phone have a battery problem this time? What's special about today with the battery? Why did this happen? I've been lucky lately. The battery's been working. Why did it fail this time all of a sudden? Nothing's changed, right? It was cool. Yeah, I have to keep the thing cold before I start the video. It's got to be off for a couple of hours. It's got to be cool and off, and then I got to reset it. That's what I got to do to get the battery to work. I mean, with the pack. I mean, the built-in battery's shot. It doesn't work, right? I got to use this clunker thing. This little brick attached to the cord. Yeah. And then it works. But today it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Why am I telling you about my tech issues? I should call tech support, right? Yeah, this music this style of music reminds me of Chantil. I just found her this morning. Chantil Ducart. She wrote a poem called "The Dancing Wolf." Yeah, so I was going to do it today as well, on a lighter end. It's about transference stuff. It's about this hope that somebody in the present can give you the symbiosis that you were missing. All this intense, passionate, romantic love is about that immense symbiosis. That's what her poem's about. Right? Her conclusion was, the answer lied in the heart of the wild animal, like a wolf, for example. Chantron aimed to always be alert and cautious, yet relaxed, like fill in your favorite animal. Okay. In her case was the wolf. The wolf retains its intuition and doesn't let its guard down unless it is with trusted members of the group. Then it is ready to dance and play. For Chantron, the protagonist, trust would have to be earned through invested time, consistency, and reliability versus given freely. So her poem's about this falling in love phenomenon, this love at first sight phenomenon, giving everything away in a moment, right? Because the person in the present reminds you of the mother who traumatized you. That flares up the wiring of the mother. So we'll get into that tomorrow, 9%. We'll get into that tomorrow. Yeah, if you want to read it in advance, go to YouTube. The singer is Chantil Ducart. A young lady. She's she's okay. A couple of her songs are okay. You got to go to her channel. You'll find it there. It's a song called it's a lost love or something. Past tense. Something past tense. She means she broke up with the fellow. That's now past tense. She means it that way. Oh yeah, you gave me your word, but I gave you my heart. This is the issue, right? So she always fell for this. If a man gives her the right words, she instantly gives that fellow the heart. So she said, wait a minute, I need a broader lens here. I need a broader, the lens, yeah. So she got a broader lens. That's the healing. She got a broader lens. And she used the inspiration of the wolf like that. That the wolf only plays when there's trust like that. Yeah. Yeah, I found her by accident. I'm not, the host is a little over the top for me, but there's an indigenous music channel called Larry K and Indigenous in Music. Indigenous in Music. Your host is Mr. Larry K. A lot of good songs in that channel. A lot of great songs from Indigenous people. I can listen to any one of those sets. There's usually a couple of good songs in every set of his. There's a lot of great music by Indigenous singers. They're really good. Geez. The only problem is this host guy. He gets carried away. Like you're listening to the song, and he has this annoying habit of, before the song ends, he jumps in with the volume of his voice is like double the volume of what you were listening to. So suddenly you hear his loud voice making some personal. He makes these personal sounds, like he makes these personal kind of sounds from him. Look at me, I'm important, kind of thing. So he's a little narcissistic, I think. He's making it more about him. It's kind of like the show is like a vehicle for him almost. It's not supposed to be like that. A good host doesn't do that, I think. So if you can kind of forgive him, see, okay, if you don't like something, that's their defense against fear. What's his fear? Well, maybe he's not a musician. Maybe he's afraid of being ignored. Maybe he wants to be seen and feel important. So go to TQ 2822 for more on that one. 6%. All right. So there's a weekly Indigenous music channel called Indigenous in Music. I think that's what it's called. The host is a guy named Larry K. It's on a lot of it's easily widely available. So the most recent episode included a song by this singer, Chantel Ducat, a song of hers called it's the third song off her album. What is it again? Lady and the Champion. Lady and the Champ. The third song. I forgot the name of it. Undisclosed? And it sounded pretty good, so I looked it up and found this other song of hers. And then about the love story. And it included this poem, the Dancing Wolf poem. 5%. If she sticks with it, she'll get some hits. I think she's on the path. She's young and she's on the way, I think. I think she's got to tone down the tacky, canned, jazzy kind of sounds, and just come and focus more on herself, make it more personal. She's got a lot of canned kind of, like this kind of music. She includes this kind of stuff. Our theme song, the 1001 Windmills of the Mind, is Katja Epstein's German cover of the song Windmills of the Mind. It begins with the bass tubas, great song. A very good English rendition of that song is the one done by Barbara Lewis. Great rendition. Those two are my top two favorite renditions of the song Windmills of the Mind. Dynamics of the mind. Goings ons in the mind. Okay, we have a model, internal working model, and we're repeating stuff. We recreate it to try to remember. When we remember, we stop repeating. This whole process, this whole journey is called working through your feelings, grieving. All this is so-called working through process. Like work through this transition towards getting back your feelings, getting back the golden ball. %. What time is it again? 4:25. Oh, what a pity, eh? I could have gone for another 2 hours, yeah. I got all this caffeine in me. What am I going to do with all this caffeine? I gotta manically walk around or something. 3%. Okay, let's just hit the stop on it. I gotta stop it before it's 0, right? Okay, your mission, should you choose to accept it, is to at least the ones that are read, or read this page and see if there's one that you find of interest, and make a note about it. That's it. That's it. Don't push it. Be gentle with yourself. Find one quote that's of interest. Send it to yourself, email it to yourself, make a note about it, copy it or whatever, and you do this every day kind of thing. You do like one a day kind of thing, like an inside of the day kind of thing, and that's it. That's your mission. Should you choose to accept it, I'll see you in part 2, where we'll finish the list and. 3%. I'll see you in part 2. A recently added song to our soundtrack is a very fun, upbeat, disco, techno, modern, thumping kind of electronics thing called When the Boss Is Coming by Oma Wumi. Written as one word. Her name is written as one word. O-M-A, W-U-M-I. She's a diva, like a pop diva from Nigeria. That's a great song, When the Boss Is Coming. Just for the music, I couldn't make out all the lyrics. Just for the music of it. It's a fun, upbeat kind of song. Steve Perry's Friends of Mine was also newly added. And we got an amazing soundtrack. 2%. Yeah, let's wrap it up. Okay, I'll see you in part 2. Thanks very much. I'll see you in part 2. I wish I had a funny one-liner to close the video. Oh, they're coming in. Oh, what timing, eh? Okay. Okay, another mission should you choose to accept it. Okay, I'll give it to you in part 2. Go to part 2 and you'll get your other mission. Okay, I'll see you in part 2. Thanks.